Don't you want it? 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 You lose your little mind.
Welcome to the Deadlights podcast. I'm your host, Sam.
And I am Leslie, bringing you your weekly dose of horror, everybody. And today we have Armando.
He's back again.
He's
Part
back
two.
at it again.
Part two. Here we go.
Part two.
Part deux.
You're literally just like pushing me. That's okay.
Wow.
I want to make sure.
You're on the podcast for all 10 seconds, and you're already pushing the host off. Very interesting.
Yeah, soon enough, this is gonna be just like a Mondo Sam show.
I love the live.
Yeah, you're out of here.
Yeah.
You're out of here. Mondo's the new host.
No.
Wow. Well, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be
Possibly
back.
here to stay. But glad you made it. So, quick question for both of you, I guess.
Yeah.
How do you feel about lake houses? Do you spend a lot of time at lake houses or lakes in general?
I've spent a weekend at a lake house. That shit's nice.
It is relaxing.
There was a fucking hammock.
Ooh.
There was a fire pit.
Mm-hmm.
There was the ocean. We jumped on boats several times.
Mm-hmm.
Drank on boats. So bougie and fun.
Yeah, never been to one, but I actually wrote why our lake house is so good at being scary. I feel like they're always a typical like location for horror movies. So it's just like it's supposed to be so nice and like relaxing.
Well,
you know?
those houses are full of windows, full of sliding doors and ways for wind and air to like go into your home.
Mm-hmm. Make you feel like you can relax and
Yeah.
be free, and also I feel like a lot of times people leave their doors unlocked, and it's just
Oh,
like
yeah,
the idea
no.
of like you're in your own bubble, you're in your own world, and that's what makes it feel so relaxing and like an escape.
But when you are being pursued, when you're being pursued, or being stalked, every goddamn window and door becomes an entryway for whatever wants to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just like rushing to close everything.
from all sides. You don't got
All
no good
sides,
corners.
up and down, left to right, inside, outside.
You can't feel safe anywhere in that kind of place.
No. So what do you think of?
Well, I mean, I have been to a couple lake houses, and yes, I agree it's completely relaxing, and I think it's then the perfect setting for a horror movie to be put into, because we're bringing it home. We're bringing it to you at your most comfortable place, and shit. I think it's a great setting for a horror movie, and a great setting for this horror movie that we just watched.
Then what did we watch?
We watched The Night House.
The Night House.
From 2020. Directed by David Bruckner. Written by Ben Collins and Luke Piotrowski. Sorry. A widow begins to uncover her recently deceased husband's disturbing secrets.
Disturbing indeed.
Disturbing indeed. The first thing that we see is the little dinghy. The little boat floating in the harbor. That's the first shot. And it's somewhat fitting because this is where we're going to end the movie too. So...
Yeah.
You may ever ring that beginning and ends.
Taco Cat.
Taco Cat.
Is that the...
Yeah, I mean, it's the same forward and backwards. Yes. And then this beginning part is really just like a montage of the house and the different spaces. We're kind of getting information piecemealed out to us just in the scene.
Which I think it's very smart. If we are going to spend majority of the movie in a particular space, show us what we're going to see. So then that way, visually, we can just like piece out the house, and have a better understanding and not feel like disoriented.
Yeah, they did a great job of establishing the space. And especially, like you said, because we're also going to see like the flip side of all this stuff too, which is very disorienting. So making the audience more familiar with the space. Good on them for doing that. And I think this is the day of the funeral.
Yes.
This is the day of the funeral because Beth is returning from the funeral. She's all in black. She's like continuing to drink and get more drunk, and it's really sad. And then she goes to sleep that night, and there's like the empty, like half of the bed. She's like caressing down the bed, and then
it was when she like got to the heart, which I was very like.
Yeah, it was like this, right, like in the corner, and it does it a couple times, and that somehow leads her downstairs. And that's when she checks the doors, and then she checks to the basement door, and the basement door is one of those doors that has like the glass.
Oh, yeah.
And then it kind of like swings open, and there's like a really dark man-looking silhouette in that mirror. But then she closed that door, and
they're gone.
It's gone, and the background space kind of is similar to a silhouette, so your mind is like, oh, okay, maybe that was just maybe I was just making myself see things, which is how a lot of these visual scares are in this movie.
Oh yeah,
they rationalize it with the space. They're like, oh, that was just a weird angle that you were looking at the house at, which is really cool.
Oh, memory.
We go to eventually at one point the school that she works at. And she comes in, and this is when we meet her friend Claire for the first time. And she even mentioned, she's like, yeah, I have not been sleeping well. And I wrote that down because, not sleeping well, you do sometimes start to see things too.
Also, she's drinking so much.
She's drinking a lot. She's not sleeping. And that kind of, for us as the audience members, at least for me, made me distrust her. I was like, okay, are all these things that are happening actually happening, or is this just your drunk mind? Because a lot of times when she was going through these delusions, she would wake up suddenly like a blackout. It was like, oh yeah, well, she was drinking heavily,
right?
And she is going through a really tough time after having her husband kill himself. So it makes sense, and to the people around her, it makes sense too that she would be going through something like that too. And they're all good people, so they're all concerned with her, but she kind of pushes everybody away because she feels that something's off.
Well, yeah, she keeps mentioning, it's like, I thought I was in a good relationship. I thought there wasn't any secrets. And again, if you thought the closest person to you that fucking sleeps next to you is lying to you, or not, being a completely different person, who else can I not trust?
Yeah, exactly.
She feels like, how can't you see through that?
Yeah. Like the person you love is a serial killer. Like, holy shit.
Well, at this point, she doesn't know that.
No, I know.
At this point, it's still just my husband killed himself, and that's enough to send her into these questions of what else didn't I know.
At first, once we realized like he committed suicide, I was like, or she killed him. I was like ready to jump off of that kind of
for theory. A little bit was like thinking about that possibility too, because I think the movie, again, they're doing a good job of making us distrust her and wonder about her credibility, because she is drinking and she is going through a tough time. So I thought that too. I was like, shit, is she actually like, she seems kind of cold to a lot of the people around her. I'm like, is that because she actually did it and doesn't feel remorse? I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of these questions, a lot of these possibilities that like this movie kind of sent us on, and I like that. And
she was on her computer looking at other houses.
Yes. Because
she told Claire, I'm going to pack your stuff and then I'm going to move out of there. We're drifting off a little bit. We're just falling asleep because we just heard that she is sleep deprived, and then fucking the screen turns into guns.
Yeah.
Yeah. She wakes back up like 4 hours later, because the clock was like at one point it was like hours later,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, suddenly she was shopping for guns on her computer.
I think she was looking at the prices.
Mm-hmm.
Not for her, but like her husband's like, when did he get this
Mm-hmm.
revolver?
Yeah.
Like, she must have gone through the bank statements and be like, did her research of like, when was this?
When did he purchase it?
Yeah.
How long was he planning this?
Yeah, it's really interesting because everyone was just kind of being like, he clearly like was struggling with some sort of like mental illness or something that like drove him to that. Like didn't want to look closer and harder, and she was just like, there has to be something wrong, you know, like more than just cheating, because like if it was just cheating, like probably wouldn't have like resulted in this, you know.
Well, and she even says that later when she's talking to Claire. She's like, hey, like fucking, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. But all this other stuff doesn't make any sense. Like, why? And everyone, you're right. Everyone's just like, just move on. It's, you know,
it's like, stop. Like, it doesn't matter whether he cheated right now. The fact that you have to move on is still, like, it's just going to keep hurting you the more you dig up. And it's more mourning and sadness that you're going to have to get through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn, though. Fucking hell.
But she doesn't seem to be the closure type. You know? She had that brush with death. And
True.
that was, like, haunting her.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wasn't really expecting. I thought that story was interesting when she told us it at first, but I was not expecting it to make such a important, like, comeback the way it did.
Yeah, that was... a little later, there's a scene between Claire and Beth again after like they came home from drinking, and that's when she tells her, "Yeah, I ever tell you that I died?
I haven't told you that story.
I haven't told you. Back in Tennessee, I went over a cliff and pancake. Like her lungs collapsed or something, and she was dead for like 4 minutes. And
she said that people usually ask her like, what do you see, where do you go, and kind of like those kind of stories. Did you see the bright lights
at the end of the tunnel?
There's nothing.
It's just a tunnel.
Which is just like, fuck.
Yeah, like, oh, damn. I mean, no wonder she, like, had dark thoughts, you know?
Yeah.
She talks about that, too. She's like, you know, Owen is the only person that I told this to. And told the truth about there being nothing in the afterlife. And I was always the one with the dark thoughts. Maybe they finally seeped into his mind. And that's the reason he did it. Very much blaming herself for his suicide. So there's definitely that element that she's dealing with too, is this guilt that she feels like, was this my fault? Am I going to get to the end of this and realize that, holy shit, I was the one?
It was me. She's holding on still, though. Like, she is speculating whether, because of how, you know, pessimistic she is, like, it got this person who, what everybody thinks was, like, this lovely person. But, again, Claire's there to tell her, essentially, like, let it go, move on.
Don't worry about it.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter what he did. All the things you remember about him, that's who he was.
Yeah.
Hold on to the Owen that you loved.
She reveals the suicide note that Owen left for her. And it says...
At the bar.
Yeah, in front of everybody. Pretty public reading of a suicide note.
That's Claire's to blame for that. You know, they're like, you gotta come out. And they did ask, yeah.
Yeah, the other two people asked.
Yeah, they were kind of like... little nosy teachers.
Yeah. And then she like takes him out of the bag, and then there's like a corner that has blood on it.
Yeah.
You know, and then one of the teachers was like, "Oh, and she keeps it in her bag." Kind of like, "Oh shit, that's right. This just happened to somebody."
Oh, this is actually real. This isn't just gossip.
Yeah.
That's when the night turns pretty dark.
You mean the house, the night house?
The night house.
That was so bad. Edit that out.
That's the Deadlights pod. Goodbye. And the note says, "You were right. There is nothing. Nothing's after you. You're safe now. Love Owen.
No love.
No love?
Because
XOXO.
she
No.
she stated that he didn't even, your loving husband, your XOXO.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't say anything else.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So do you think it was Owen writing that, or was it like Death making Owen write that?
I think that was Owen.
Mm-hmm.
It was just very curt. It was just... He couldn't explain himself a little more.
Throw a bone.
Like, come on, dude.
Hey, I'm a serial killer. I just want to keep killing. You're the only girl I can't kill. Love.
Your loving husband.
Your loving husband that wants to murder you every night.
Yeah. But I
XOXO.
never had sex with any of them.
Never.
I am nothing if not loyal.
Thank
we
God.
kissed and
Dude.
that's it.
Yeah, I mean, he takes loyalty to a whole nother level.
I mean, how romantic. I'm just kidding.
Wow, now thinking about it, Owen is the most romantic.
Wow. Adam goes and searches for people that look like me because he can't kill me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What a good dude.
And they're just all in their
husband.
floorboards.
It's just in the floorboards.
Yeah.
Floorboards, yeah. Ooh,
That's why the house
juicy,
flooded twice.
Juicy floors. All right, so that's a lot of the backstory information that we already got going on. But the first night, the music turns on, and then she wakes up from the music and gets a text from Owen.
Yeah.
Come down.
Come down.
All caps.
All caps.
Like, very aggressive.
Like, dude.
Like,
come down.
Don't be afraid. All caps.
Yeah,
don't be afraid.
It's like, bitch, I am afraid right now. And you should be understanding of that.
Well, get it? It's backwards.
Don't be afraid.
No, the text messages are backwards. So he's sending them lowercase. It's being sent
everything
to
is
her
reverse.
capital.
Everything
he's
is
just
reverse.
trying to whisper.
He was.
Yeah, he was.
That's his whisper.
He would whisper in her ear all the time.
She calls him.
She calls him.
And then he picks up on the other line and is silent for a really long time and just... Look out the window. She's like, oh, I understood that. And then she goes to the window. You got butt-ass naked Owen standing on the water, Jesus style.
Wow, yeah. Jesus style. And Jesus had a thick booty.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Owen's built.
Look at those biceps.
Look at those biceps.
And looks back, and then, boom, we wake up. Hey.
God damn it.
Did she pass out?
Did she pass out?
Was she blacked out?
The whiskey. My God, she's drinking half a bottle of whiskey at night.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Aye.
Which also insane. Like, it looked badass to be like, oh, look at you. You're getting drunk and you're going to go talk to your
My kidneys were hurting.
Husband. But yeah, like...
You're going to talk to your dead husband.
But it's just like, man, like, I'd be terrified getting that drunk and having to deal with, like, supernatural...
Absolutely.
Forces.
That is definitely not this. I'd be out of that house already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be out.
Gone.
I'd just be like, you know what, Owen, best of luck. Thank you for not murdering me. Okay, bye.
B.
Bye.
It's the next morning that she goes into his car and is like looking through all of his belongings that she had like packed up or something.
No, those are the evidence.
Oh, that's the evidence box.
Police gives you.
Jesus Christ. It's weird that they just give you back the gun.
I don't think that...
Because the gun is in there.
Yeah, the gun is in there.
This is... Oh, wow, okay. And then she starts going through his phone. And this is where we get the first, like, weird picture on his phone. Of, like, kind of from behind, like, 3/4 behind someone who looks a lot like Beth.
I was not questioning that.
Yeah, I definitely thought it was her. I was like, why is it weird?
Why is it weird? I was like, you're
I
crazy.
was like, you don't take pictures of your boo like when they're not
looking?
Yeah. Boop, got you.
She looks so good in this library. Maybe she doesn't read. And she's like, I would never be in a library. This isn't me.
I'm illiterate.
Illiterate. This isn't me.
I'm a professor who's illiterate. So I give everybody C's.
There's this cool scene after she's drunk with the teacher's night out or whatever, and she comes back with Claire. She's like brushing her hair as she's like starting to fall asleep.
I fucking would have fallen asleep like that too.
Yeah, no, it looked nice. She's like, you're so nice. You're so nice. And then like quiet, and then that loud ass music just kicks. It's like uncomfortably.
I jumped there too.
It's like skin crawlingly loud.
Yes,
in your
it
ears.
is. Because there's also other noise. It was like disturbing, just kind of like music.
The whole house like looked like it was shaking and like yelling at her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to the back and she sees like the girls start to run by. And they're like running around the house and jumping off a cliff. And there's that crazy jump scare where she's like looking towards the camera and just out of nowhere a girl just runs past her shoulder.
And they were all wearing t-shirts and underwear, and that's it.
They all look like kind of her too.
Yeah, they're all brunettes.
Jumping off the cliffs. And then he whispers, the boat. And so she goes down to the boat, and that's when we get the bloody footprints.
Right.
Walking towards her, like in this thick fog. Like she kept like pointing the flashlight into the fog, and it was just like, when's it gonna pop out?
Oh my god,
when's
I was
it gonna
so
pop
afraid.
Out?
Because we already had 2 of them back to back, so I was like, here we go.
Yeah, I was covering my ears, but that's fine.
Ooh.
I was getting ready. I was like, you ain't gonna make me jump.
And instead, just the fog kind of rolls over, and then the bloody footprints get closer and like right in front of her. And then
she goes, poor.
Slow motion, and then she's like floated into the boat, I think. And this is, I think, our first really red moon.
Red moon.
She gets to the other side. She like floats to the other side, and she sees like her reverse house. This is her house exactly opposite. And in the windows, we see a bunch of women that look exactly like her. And I think in one window, does he like almost attack?
Yeah, he like grabs them and like she starts like trying to like flail out of his arms.
Yeah, and she like runs to the front and goes in the house, and as soon as she opens the door, it's like morning, and she looks at the couch, and she's laying on the couch, waking up, and then she's gone from the door that she just came in, but it's like still moving.
The door is open, and then so she wakes up from the couch and goes and closes it, and I was like, okay, she saw herself.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, woof.
Crazy
transition.
Oh, that's a maze. That's a maze.
Very maze-like.
Yeah,
very maze-like.
Very maze.
And we saw a lot of very similar dream, like at least creatively, dream sequences in The Ritual too. When he was like going in and out of reliving, seeing his friend die.
Those shots are so fucking cool.
So cool, and he so creatively went into dreams and came out of dreams to make you question, are we still dreaming? Or are you awake now? Because from this point on, it's kind of like anything goes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you could be in it, we could just like wake up and then you're in a dream. But yeah, I think the very creative cinematography.
Oh yeah. When she like discovers the other house.
That's what I was going to say. She goes to the other side because she just had that dream about the house on the other side. And then she discovers the beginnings of the reverse house. It's like half built. And she goes upstairs and finds a very creepy doll. It's like a bound woman with a bunch of spikes through her.
Spikes in her mouth, her eyes, her throat.
I don't know what this thing does. I really don't know what the little totem thing does, but it's creepy as shit.
Yeah, I don't like it.
And she decides to take it. I'm like, why are you...
Why? She's drunk.
At one point, she figures out where he got those like occult books to, and it's to like some library in New York.
Books and melodies.
Books and melodies. We also do songs on Tuesday night.
Oh, we love death.
Oh well.
And shit.
Death and shit. That's a great song. And this is where she finds the mystery lady in the picture. Oh shit! I've seen that blouse. It's in my husband. I think you knew my husband.
She's like, hello. Hi. I'm not gonna kill you.
Why are you scared?
Yeah.
Why do you look scared, huh? Put the fucking book. Put your hair down.
Put your hair down. You slept with my husband. Put your hair down.
Yeah, how you looked.
Very confrontational.
Absolutely.
I mean, trying to get information out of her, but like, damn.
Just speaking of that scene, just want to say I really liked this actress's character. I thought she was like very funny, like even when she was like pissed and just being like, "Yeah, girl, like don't be like just a like sad lady because your husband's dead." You know, she still got quite a bit of spunk to her.
Yeah,
she's determined as shit.
7 emotions. 7 levels stages of grief. Oh yeah, you're gonna be pissed at some point. You know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think she did a great job through this whole movie.
Oh yeah.
She's on a mission, but she's also desperately trying to keep it together in her own mind.
Also drunk.
And tired
and sleep deprived.
Confused.
Yeah.
And
no, this actor's good.
She's great, and it seems like a very tiring role for her. But in the scene, and she does get some information out of this girl. She's like, "Yes, I did know your husband, and we went out for drinks a couple times, and that was it. We didn't even sleep together." She's like, "I know you fucked him. I know you fucked him.
I know you fucked him. Put your hair down.
Put your fucking hair down. Let me pull it."
But that girl is still holding back information. It wasn't everything. They went over to the house.
She came back that night because she's like, "I think I couldn't stop thinking about you after you came back." And that's when she said she had the dream that was exactly the same dream that Beth had. And she was like, "Well, he did take me to the half-built house, and he was just so excited about it. And then he asked me to hold the totem, and he kind of hugged me. He put his head on my shoulder, and then I kissed him, and then he started to strangle me, and then I asked him to stop, and he did, and he drove me home, and it was okay.
Everything was fine." And she's like, "Did he hurt you?" And she was like, "No,
I asked him to stop.
No, he stopped when I told him to, and then he took me home, and then we ended things, but..."
And then he killed himself.
Yeah, he was like, he dropped her off and said, "Well, we'll just have to end it all now." And she thought he was talking about their relationship, but he was talking about himself. Yeah, and after that confrontation, she goes back to the house, the unfinished house again, and this is where she discovers some droopy floor and some dead bodies. Lots of dead bodies.
Her foot goes down.
Yikers.
It was like a number.
It was a lot
of bags down
there. There were some mummified pieces in there. Women.
Pieces.
Them pieces, you know?
Yeah. It was a lot. Like, it went back for a long time.
It was the whole floor.
Oh, God. This house is built on death.
Oh. It was supposed to be that.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. There was some pretty, this is going to sound awful, but, fresh, bodies in there. Bags, you know?
It was...
Yeah, I saw some meat on them bones.
That's what I was saying, is, they've been together for 14 years, so this entity's, I think, been making him do this shit for a really long time.
Yeah, since the beginning, probably.
Oof.
Yep.
ONB serial killing.
That's a long marriage to be.
Yeah.
I just wonder also, did they get married right after she, cheated death, essentially?
I don't think so. Because it sounded like... Well, maybe they did. It sounded like she was, 17 when this happened.
Well, yeah, because they did... one of the ladies at the bar was like, "Oh, you guys married young." And she's like, "Yeah, maybe, kind of. A little bit."
So, yeah, maybe it was right after.
Yeah.
After she got
so
better.
She must have been 18 or something. Because I can't imagine, Death trying to have somebody else kill her. and then not knowing that she was being followed by death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, very Final Destination.
Very true.
Right.
Very true. Yeah, it was probably soon after.
So it was like,
That makes sense. So yikes. Finds the bodies and then goes back home and calls Claire and was like, yo, Claire, you were right. I should have never looked into this more. Bad idea. Whoopsie. I'm sorry. I wish you were here. Please come help me.
Fucking 1 a.m. in the morning.
I wish it was morning, I think is the last thing that she said.
Yeah.
And then she goes and takes a shower. And
She does not call the police.
She does not call the police.
Does not call the fucking
Just want to rat out her
police.
husband.
Why? Why would you call the fucking police?
Owen, I
killed it for me.
I'm sure there was a rational explanation for it.
No, absolutely not. My mind wouldn't go there.
No, I would call the police.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of dead bodies out
yeah.
there. Yeah. Yikes. But she just goes and takes a shower. Maybe she got to think about it in the shower real quick.
Glass
Am I going to do it? Yeah, I'm sure she's got a shower wine or whatever, shower beer.
Shower whiskey.
Shower whiskey. And, music flipped back on.
Their wedding song again.
Wedding song is back. And she comes out of the shower. And this is kind of her breaking point. She's like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I miss you.
I miss you.
And she just breaks down.
Come and get me. Just come and get me.
Yeah. She wants him back, obviously. She misses him through this whole thing.
But also, that ain't Owen. So whatever that is, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll come over. I've been wanting you too, girl.
Yeah.
I've been wanting you nice and juicy and sad and scared. Now I gotcha. And she's just like, where are you? Where are you? And looks over and in the foggy glass of the mirror, here. Like,
Here in the bathroom?
I guess he just took a dump. I'm taking a dump, babe. I'll be out in a sec. Quiet down.
But because he's an entity, it doesn't smell.
No. It's got some sort of unsmelling poo in hell. And this is another, like, we see, like, his footprints, his wet footprints. Dripping from somewhere. And then we get a very close to ghost scene with Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. Oh my God! You like saw the pressure.
Yeah.
On her fingertips and on her skin.
On her skin, going like,
oh wow, I'm
baby,
dark.
rippling the. Oh yeah. Oh Owen, yeah, they're like about to do it.
Yeah.
They're totally about to do it. She's about to do it with this like hung demon.
I know, when he turned her around the face of her, I was like, ooh, girl.
Like, damn. And then she's like, oh, Owen. I'm not Owen. What the fuck? Damn. I actually was not expecting that.
No, me neither.
I thought that was a pretty cool twist. Oh shit, this ain't Owen.
And we're not even seeing this.
We're not even seeing it.
It's so interesting. It's so
really cool. She did get her head slammed against the mirror by the entity too.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's what sends her into the reverse house.
Because that mirror, because the mirror was supposed to keep that entity away.
Mm-hmm. And now she's in the reverse house. She like looks at the alarm clock. It's all backwards.
Yeah. 4 a.m.
Yeah. And then there's all these like girls like hiding. Hide, get out of there.
Hide.
Get out. And Owen's dragging the dead girl out of the bathroom and starting to like bind her up like the weird statue thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Owen.
Owen.
You are not yourself when you are hangry.
Have a Snickers.
Have a Snickers, please. And this is when she keeps looking into the corners of the house, and we get more of these like silhouette ghost parts, and then the house is actually moving now, like towards her.
Yeah, it was full Monster House.
Full Monster House.
Full Monster House.
Looks down the hall. It's like a big head man.
Oh yeah.
And then that starts moving towards her too. It was cool, and
it's dragging her towards different rooms and different girls in different ways that Owen was murdering them. Brutal stuff.
Bad stuff.
But cool concept.
Very cool scene.
Movie?
Yes. Very cool scene. Cool looking. And it eventually leads her to the basement. It literally throws her down the stairs. And we have this great little Christmas setup. Little Christmas.
Oh my god, yes.
Now, did she say when they crashed the car, was it in winter?
I think they did mention it was like cold.
It was cold, and it was like they just went over the edge. So maybe this scene during Christmas is kind of a memory of like very soon after they got
perhaps
back.
it's the first time that he had the urge to kill her.
Yes. And he's sitting on the couch with her like right in his lap.
I mean, that's a long neck. He could have.
That's a long neck.
Yeah. Maybe his girlfriend's.
Very gooseneck. Black Swan.
Black Swan.
And
no.
This is when we get to reveal. She's like, "I know you're not Owen. Like, who are you?" And he reveals that I followed you since you cheated me. You left the day that we met, and I've been wanting you ever since. It's very like toxic boyfriend energy that this guy's putting off. I think that this spirit for sure. I mean, whatever it was wearing Owen down in the end is what we learn, and then trying to wear her down, and that's what we see in this movie is this spirit just trying to get in her head and just make her give up and ultimately return to death.
Yeah.
So
like, does he miss her? Is it like some weird fucked up love thing?
He got like ghosted by her.
Yeah.
And then he's like, what the fuck?
Like they're both grieving, but she's like grieving over like a husband that there is no ghost of. It's just this like fucked up entity like trying to like replace the husband.
Just like butthurt.
Yeah.
It's like butthurt ghost.
This being kept telling Owen to kill her. So that's why he kept killing people that look like her to kind of trick it.
Yeah.
But
also, this is what I had that epiphany about. When she finds those like occult books, the things that are underlined, one of them says mazes and reverse and like mirror images will disrupt an evil entity. So he was trying to build that reverse house on the other side to try to disrupt this ghost or paranormal, this dark entity. So he was actively trying to get rid of it at the same time of murdering a bunch of women to save his wife over and over and over and over again from this dark entity, essentially.
Okay, so now I'm back to actual supernatural shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's actually
yeah.
Well, at least for
Well, that's the optimistic route, the supernatural route, because the really depressing one is that
I mean,
we could go realist on
this. Just really.
What drives people to commit, several killings?
I believe it's only ever supernatural.
Yeah.
And love. It's gotta be ghosts.
Love.
And
ghost love.
And we got both of them. So.
And that's what you call a butthurt ghost. That's a bad recipe.
That was the alternative title for this movie.
Butthurt ghost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Buttholes.
Butthole ghost. Yeah. She, in the end, is the person that brought that entity with her. Because she brought it out, like, Tennessee, that happened when she was young.
She said 7 or 17.
Yeah.
17.
Oh, she was the one that brought the entity?
Yeah, because.
Oh, that's why because she cheated death, essentially?
Yeah. Essentially, and he was like, that's what I'm saying, he was butthurt about it. And so death has always been following her, and then started whispering in Owen's ear, and that's why it was telling him to kill her. And then...
But he loved her too much.
He loved her too much, so he killed a bunch of other women to satisfy death. But it kept coming back because it kept wanting her because she cheated him.
Yeah, so don't listen to it, trick it,
Yeah, trick it, don't listen to it.
Is that why he was, like, building a maze?
Yes. And that's what I was saying, like, he discovered in the, like, occult books that it said mazes and, like, mirror images confuse and disrupt dark entities. So he was like actively trying to get rid of it. He was in the middle of building that reverse house.
Yeah.
So he was trying to do something to get rid of it.
Yeah, because there was like a sheet, kind of like a wax paper type of thing, where he had like circled and X'd a location.
So he killed himself just because he felt like he's done too much now.
I guess
right.
So.
He just felt bad about the murders.
Yeah, he was feeling guilty.
Yeah,
he probably felt like he did bring it in,
and
the only way to get rid of it and protect her was to kill himself.
Right.
But in the end, it was actually her that brought the spirit in, and I think the spirit is like more attached to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then somehow gets her into the boat. This last scene is like cutting back and forth from like reality and like the dream world kind of, because she's in the boat and we're seeing Owen like about to kill himself. In
all the things
the
that he did, yeah.
And then she has the gun in her hand and he's telling her that you're right, there is nothing after this, so what's the point? Just come and join me. Come join me. There's nothing. But then Claire screams her name, and I think that's kind of like breaks her out of it a little bit, and she eventually just decides not to shoot herself.
She didn't shoot herself because there's people like Beth in her life. Claire. Like Claire. I think she really admires her. I think she really finds her to be a good light. Even though she knows that in death there's nothing, at least living she has someone who is light.
And also, Mel had wandered up to the dock as she was coming to, so you have these two people at least that you know will always have your back. And yeah, I mean, that's ultimately what stops her from shooting herself and puts down the gun. And she's awoken to Claire pulling her into the water, which kind of is like, wake up, girl, wake up, and you know.
Yeah, but also like she didn't know whether she was alive or she had just shot herself.
Right.
You know, like she could have been in
a
much awful state, and then she's just dragging her into the fucking ocean.
Yeah, well, she took the gun with her in the ocean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been bad.
Yeah, that would have been really bad.
I'm sorry, Claire. Yeah, but pulls her to shore, and Mel and Claire are making sure that she's okay and doing everything that they can to be there for her. And there's even like a shot of Claire's face after she hugs her, and she's like trying to be supportive, but like she's also terrified.
So terrified.
So she's gonna try to figure it out for her too. And then the last thing that we see is the boat, which is what we started with, floating in the water. And
with a dark, dark area right there.
And we hear that, there's nothing there, right? And she says, I know. What an experience.
Wow.
What a house.
What a house.
It ain't no smart house.
It ain't.
Well, it actually is. Evil house. Well, let's get to some Smash Pumpkin ratings, shall we? Armando.
Yeah,
please tell me, what are you thinking?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It hit all the right marks for me for a ghost story and a story of grief and all that fun stuff. And I almost shit myself. I'm gonna give it like 4.
Yeah.
4-5. Nice.
At the beginning of it, I said that I really liked the coloration of it. I thought it was really nicely just framed as well. The concepts of the silhouettes being within the house, I thought that was really cool. I would like to do more research to see if that was actually something they did as opposed to like CGI shit. Because like they would use the pillars as well, and like the cuts, the grooves and stuff. What is that section called?
What is that called? I don't know.
I learned it in theater, but I've totally forgot.
Like a column top or I don't
know. Whatever.
Column topper.
The column topper. But yeah, like so the usage of that, the actress was phenomenal. We were trying to come up with the other movie that she's been in.
She was fuck. I literally just googled it right before.
What was her name? Emily Coxhead or something? Oh, yes, she
Iron Man
was.
3.
Yeah, she was.
She's like the journalist show. She's in another good movie.
She's so good. Just like you were able to see every sort of like emotion and like her being drunk and like doing things. I thought that was really great.
The Town. She was in The Town.
She was in The Town.
The Town.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
Watch it. It's pretty good.
Yeah? Is it a scary one?
No.
Damn it. I'm not gonna see it.
It'll be on
I'm just kidding.
Podcast.
Yeah. So cool. The fact that it left us with a lot more questions and a really great discussions, and I don't think we've settled into one, and then it just went through different avenues, and I want to see it again. I'm gonna give it a 4.8.
4.8.
It
nice.
excited me.
It excited
Go
me as
Sex,
well.
you know?
Go Sex.
I
lot of
shouted
sexy
that
Go
in the
stuff.
beginning, and I'm so happy it almost happened.
It almost happened.
Almost.
But then even gladder it didn't.
I'm glad that it didn't because it wasn't Owen.
Yikes. Big dick demon. I agree with all of the things that you said. Yes, I think that it was one of the more creative movies that I've seen in a really long time as far as horror goes. And just these scares of a very, seemingly simple kind of setup for the story of it being a ghost story in a haunted house kind of idea, and just really turning it up and making it something different. And it was also a movie like The Ritual, very much saying stuff about how we process death and life, and it was definitely commenting on something that we all go through and question, and left us with a very dark and kind of bleak view of it in some ways, but maybe a little hopeful in some ways. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Whoa! Yes. I'm excited to have people, because I had not heard about this. No one's seen it, right?
No, never heard of it.
Yeah, so like, wow, how did this miss my radar? I mean, it was also in the height of the fucking pandemic.
True.
But yeah, I want people to see this movie. Please see it.
Yeah. Please see it. It's great.
It is a little harder on the like whole concept of like women getting murdered and tortured and stuff, but
there was, we obviously, yes, everything is, it's awful. Very fucked up.
This is a horror genre.
It really wasn't gratuitous. Like, there was very little blood as far as, like...
Yeah, that is true.
I think that they showed enough of it without being too gratuitous
It's the choking and the throwing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, like, they were just small portions.
Very small
portions. And everything
luckily.
else was like...
Yeah. We got it.
Yeah.
They need to put it in our face like that. It was scary enough, too.
Yeah.
Right.
Without any blood or really even a physical person.
It was stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like in a good way. It wasn't too much like Uncut Gems. Well,
that's great. Thank you, Armando, for joining us for another stay at the Night House.
Thank
you guys.
In the Deadlights podcast. But we need you to pick our next one.
Ooh, all right.
Let's see what we got.
What's in the bucket?
It's a very exciting time for us
so
here.
Many in here.
Because we just don't even know.
Wow. We don't. There's over 300 something movies in here. So read the log line for us, please.
All right. Next week you will be watching.
No, log line first. But it's okay. That's okay.
Wait, did I get?
No, you're good. You're good.
Say the log line. But it's okay.
A young soldier come to Vietnam inexplicably shows up to his family home one night.
Wait, what is it?
A young soldier killed in Vietnam inexplicably shows up to his family home one night.
Oh, no. Sounds like another ghost story.
Yeah. But
I've never heard of it.
But you said cool. The death?
No, that's not the full name.
What is it?
It's called Death Dream.
Oh, Death Dream.
Made in 1974.
Oh, back to the 70s we go.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, cool.
1974. Oh, that's not...
1924. Wow. This is an old one.
Yeah.
May I see us?
Sweet.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
Cool.
Sounds pretty good.
Awesome.
Dream.
Well, thank you again, Armando. Please plug yourself if you'd like.
Thank you. No, I'll plug you guys in. Go follow Deadlights.
Yeah.
Smash that subscribe.
Yes, smash. I'm Leslie. You can follow me at Color Me Leslie on Instagram.
And me at BB and also the Deadlights Pod. That's us again. Also check out Playground Social, which is the studio that we were recording at.
Yes.
But until next episode, let's get spooky.
Wow.
What is that? Is that a silhouette or is it a person or is it a demon?
It's a hung demon.